question.
Yeah.
I want to better understand what is a boost for a listing and how do I go about boosting? Is there consensus that it does good to boost an MLS listing?
Yeah, well, it's basically a hack to get your property in the eyes of more people, and without you having to do too much work. Because in the old days, when you got a new listing, you would have to get the flyers done. You'd have to put something together, whether that's through a graphic designer or somehow hack it together yourself. Take it to a print shop or order it from somewhere online. Wait for all that to come back in, and try to get those flyers out to the neighborhood. And it would take a while for people to know about it. Or you would have to call Homes and Land magazine or whatever magazines you would find for free at the grocery store, and pay for your listings to be featured on there. The options that we had as realtors really weren't really all that many, right? And you couldn't really do a TV commercial or anything for it. But now with social media, that's usually where everybody goes. You don't really see those magazines in the stores anymore. It's rare to come across that. So all the attention has gone online. So what the boosting theory is basically taking that listing and putting it in the most amount of people's attention, most amount of people who are looking to buy homes. Because remember, I don't know if you guys do, but when I used to go to the supermarket, I was like 7 and I would grab those magazines to just look at them because I was always fascinated with homes. A lot of people do the same. So even though they take them, they're not interested buyers. Now, why boosting a property, the marketing team behind EXP Realty, what they do is they create a audience for those properties. So for instance, they'll show it to people who have already visited Zillow recently, or people who have shown interest in buying a home or have looked to get pre-qualified. So it gets the listing in front of more people, the right people, at a very economical price, and also very low effort from us. So it really should go hand in hand with any listing you guys take to boost a property, at least for the first weekend that you're going to be putting it on the market. That way, you get more people at the open house. Past that, if you still need more marketing, it's probably because your home is overpriced, because homes should be selling within the first week to 30 days. And if it goes past that, then it's probably the price. So don't throw any more marketing at something until you have really looked at your numbers and see if you're above what everyone else is.
Is there a place on EXP that I should be going to help boost?
Oh, it's very
Yes.
simple. Yeah, it's so easy. I'll show you guys right now. But all you have to do is go to your KV Core, look up your MLS ID number, and just hit boost listing. It doesn't even have to be your listing. It could be someone else's listing. I've boosted other people's listings just to see what kind of reaction I would get from the nice listings in an area that I want to start doing business in. Chris Leva said he did this with his team and he got phenomenal response from an ad he boosted. Belinda, you were going to share?
No, I was just shaking my head. Yes, I've boosted all my listings and got good leads from them. The key is definitely to follow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, each time I boost it, I get at least 15.
Yeah, let me show you guys
15
what that
leads for
looks like.
$60.
Yeah, it's like $60 is like what I usually do as well. All right, so this is what it looks like. Let me show you. Let me go to list, or I can go to company listings, my listings, manual listings, whatever. So let's just go to all MLS. Let's go to company listings. I'm gonna go company listings, and these are the listings in my area right now. So let's just say I like one of these properties. I click on it, and right from this point here, I can go to the right of it and click boost property. And by boosting property, it takes me to this next page. And then here's when I can kind of pick the type of boosting I want, which are listing, open house, reduced price, sold, and it shows me kind of like what it's going to look like right here. You see on the right hand side, this is what your ad's going to look like. And you just display price or don't display price. If you want to display image overlay, or if you don't want it, it's all up to you. If you don't know what it means, just click on the little question mark, it'll explain it to you. And from that point on, you just pick what you want to spend. So it could be either 45 bucks, 60, 150, 250, and then it tells you what you get. And that's it. As soon as you pick that pricing and you pay for your post, then you're done. That's it. It goes and done, works on its own. Now you're going to be asking yourself, okay, so how do I know what leads I got? That's, I know Brent's next question is like, where do I find them? So when you go back to your dashboard, you're going to see that all the new leads, you just click new leads on your dashboard, click new leads right there, and then you'll see everything that came in. And it'll tell you whether it came in from organic traffic, it came in from a direct website, or if it came in from an ad. It'll tell you. So that way you know which is which.
I definitely need to go back and do a little review in KV core training. I don't use this thing like I should. I use my
Yeah.
CRM, but I just
Yeah, you don't even need all that, dude. When you just go to EXP or you go to KV Core, if you're lost, just click on this little red circle and search anything you want as far as like how do I property boost. It'll give you the link to show you exactly how to do that if you don't know how to do it, or you can get somebody on here live to explain to you what you need to do. It might take a few minutes to get someone, but usually
just
these
good.
articles are pretty
Louis,
self-explanatory.
the pictures were blocking that red dot. Would you just go back there real quick and show me where did you click on the red dot? Just go
Yeah.
back one step. You
Oh,
go,
sorry. You just there's a little red circle right here with like a
okay,
little comment box, comment bubble. Click
yeah.
on that, and then this pops up, and you can ask any question you want, and it'll give you the answer, or you can wait for someone to assist you manually. Right there.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Cool. Hopefully that works for you.
I'm sure it will.
Doris said that she's seen this before, but she thought it was only for personal listings. No. So I'm going to teach you guys a quick hack right now. Let's just say that you are new to an area such as Belinda or myself, and you don't have any business there before. You can just go, and the beauty of being with EXP Realty is that we have listings everywhere and we're one office for the entire world. So that means that we have access to using other people's listings. So what I can do, since let's just say I want to start doing business in a certain town, I can just go back here to listings, go to company listings, and now I can filter these. I can filter these by area. So, you know, I just go on a map and see where they are, or maybe just filter it down by city name. So I can go to draw a map if I want to. And let's just say I only want to work, and this is way off the mark. Jacksonville is like 8 hours away from me. All right, so let's just go back down here. And let's just say I only want to work the Naples area, because that's where I am. And let's give it a second to load. Okay, let me just draw the area. It'll show up afterwards, I'm sure. Let's just say I just want to work this market. So I hit apply section and apply filters. Okay, and these came up. So now let's just say I want to take one of these listings and I want to use it to start getting some business. So if you want that biggest bang for your buck, what I would say is this: you have to find what the medium sale price or the average sale price in your city is that you want to work in, and promote one of those listings. Because if you promote a listing that is 3.7 million, yeah, that sounds great. If you get a buyer for that, that's an awesome ROI. But it's
Yeah.
most likely not going to happen. People that are buying in this kind of price range, they're not calling the agent on Instagram that boosted the listing. They're usually working with someone already, and they usually are working with someone that was referred to them or someone that they've sought out themselves. What you want to do is try to go after the medium home price, because that means that's the widest audience, and then it's most likely that someone's going to click on your ad. So in Naples, you know, 700, 800 is kind of like in that middle range. So I would click on this. And then I would say, oh, this looks like a pretty nice property. The photographs are good. I can look at the gallery if I want to see if this shows well. Yeah, it looks pretty good. All right. So then what you want to do at that point is find out, okay, is this listing priced well? Because if it's priced high, you're probably not going to get much return either. So it takes a little bit of tweaking on your part to see like which one is the right one for you to boost. But when you do find that one that's in that right area at the right price and you boost that, you'll get some quality leads. You'll get some really good people. So a little hack for anyone who didn't know you could do that with your listings here in Naples. And as a courtesy, I do send a message out to the listing agent. just to let them know, like, hey, would you mind if I boosted your property? I'm trying to get some action in the area, and I think your home is priced well. And they usually, I've never heard anyone say no. And anyone who doesn't respond, I just boost it anyway if I think it's worth it, because you're not going to get in trouble. It's the broker's listing. It's not yours. And I've never heard an agent complain that, oh my God, you got more attention to my property. How dare you? Like it's not.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, just the it's a couple in Plainfield don't boost their property because they always call
Oh
me
yeah.
and put it down. So everybody else except them.
Yeah. Is it that office? And I know which one you're talking about. The one who joined right before us. I forget their names.
It is a gay couple.
They used to
in
be, yeah,
Plainfield.
the gay couple, right? It used to be
Yeah,
Sleepy Hollow Realty, I think it used to be.
yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
don't boost that,
Yeah.
don't boost or post them because I don't know somehow they always find out and call me but to take it down. So
Yeah,
everybody else.
yeah, everyone else has been fine. Yeah, those people are a problem. I don't know if you remember, Alejandro, when we first joined, there weren't any lunch and learns in the area. And we looked up and I found that they were doing one. And I messaged them and I said, hey, listen, we'd like to come and support your lunch and learn, me and my crew. And obviously if we show up, we're going to show up like probably 30 people deep. And the more people at a lunch and learn, the better it looks for the host. Like, oh my God, there's so many people here. The guy said, no, don't come to our lunch and learn. It's not a public event. We'll let you know if we ever do one. I'm like, what? I'm trying to support you. And yeah, those guys have always been.
Yeah, I
They've
remember.
been horrible. Yeah, they've been horrible. So yeah, check first. And if you're ever in doubt, then you can message the broker or the managing broker. But yeah, in Jersey, stay away from their listings. Cool. All right. Any other questions anyone want to show? Oh, Alejandro, you're in Colombia?
No, I just came back to the hillside house. They put in the gas outside, doing some work outside.
I saw a video from you promoting a property in I think it was Cartagena or somewhere in Colombia. Or Bogota,
Cali,
was it?
yeah.
In Cali?
Mhm,
Was it
Cali.
in Cali?
Yep. Yep.
What were you doing there, man? Tell us about that.
Oh well, I have my dad. Been dealing with my dad's dementia for the last 2 years, so I'll be going trying to accommodate him.
Yeah.
So I took the opportunity to meet up with a few brokers and trying to grow the team and make bigger sales. We make this video on one property, and I already got a client want to buy a house there. So video work.
It worked, huh?
Yeah, video work.
I don't believe it. Really, advertising works?
If anybody wants to co-brand a video, let me know. I'm planning to do like a video. How can I say, like a video, a lot of videos with other agents and
Collaboration?
stuff. Yeah. So if anybody's interested, just let me know.
Yeah, can I share that video with everyone really quick so I can show them what you did?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, let me show you guys what Alejandro did. So I'm not sure if this one, I'll just pick this one. It was so nice he had to post it twice.
For some reason, Instagram like posted twice everything on my end. I deleted it, put it back up, and it's still doing the same. So I don't know what to do.
Nice house. What city is this in, Alejandro?
Trying to see if I can make it bigger, but I don't think I can. He said it's in Cali.
Donde puedes disfrutar de una amplia zona social con piscina, terrazas, zona barbecue y jacuzzi.
I love it. You know what? I'm always giving credits where credits due. Alejandro was dealing with his father's dementia. He had every reason to be not in the mood or depressed or let his circumstances get the best of him. But he did a phenomenal job on this video. And look, he's got a client coming out of it because he put the effort in. But a lot of us sometimes we just say, Not right now. We always make excuses, right? Like, not right now. I can't because of this, because of that. There's always a reason. There's always an excuse, and there's always that voice right in your head to not do something that's uncomfortable. But Alejandro, do you feel better about yourself that you went out to Colombia, took time out of your work schedule, took time out of your investing to go see dad, which is obviously priority, but you also found a way to also collaborate with business as well?
Yes, no, I'm actually feel like pumped. Now I want to do like 5 videos a week.
I love it, man. I love it. This is the man. Good for
Hey,
you, man.
I would be interested, John K, you're on there. If you can give a tweet version, John, not a detailed overly, but a Reader's Digest version of your listing, the price and what you learned from that by having to filter through 20 offers. Can you tell your story and just tell us what you learned?
Yes, it was a very eventful week. I listed a property in North Plainfield, and the price was, I listed it at $325. It's a beautiful, house, 3 bedroom, 1.5 bath. And listed it for $315 on Friday of last week. And then had the open house on Saturday and Sunday. Both times was 12 to 3. And my friends, we had 80 people come through on Friday and Saturday. I had 3 agents helping out to control the traffic. It was unbelievable. I got goosebumps because by Sunday afternoon, actually Saturday evening, somebody calls me and is like, if you don't do another open house, I'm going to give you $350. And I was like, no, that's not fair to the people who've already made the appointments, and the open house was already, set up for Sunday. We did Sunday. By Monday, we had 18 offers. Tuesday, I tell my my seller that we are going to sit down and talk about all these offers, 18. And then that night, we got 3 more offers. So we were like, okay, there's no way on earth we're gonna go through all these offers. It's 7 p.m. at night. Why don't we just, wait another 24 hours, go through everything, and then we meet the following day. The following day, we sat down, we went through all the offers. Mind you, the house was listed at $325. The offers were coming, the lowest offer was $340. The highest was $400,000. And this was an EXP agent that presented that offer. Of course, we went with an offer that made sense. As you know, the highest offer is not always the best. And so we went with an offer that had the best, the best
Terms.
deal, the best terms. Yes.
Yeah.
And the one we went with, the buyer waived up to $50K on appraisal contingency.
Wow.
$50K.
Savage.
Yes. So we were like, this is a no-brainer. Yes, they buy the house at $370, but with $50K on the table, heck no, we're gonna take this one. So we decided to go with that, and we as we speak, we are under attorney review.
So John, what did you learn from that experience? Would you put the listing price higher next time, or did you like having all that traffic?
I would, to me, I would put the price the same way. I think that, and to me, it's almost like real estate business is changing. And I think only the savvy agents are going to make it through, because you really have to know at what price to come in, because of the demand. The demand is extremely high and the inventory is very, very low. I think even with a more seasoned agent,
Yeah. So if you compare that,
to be able to make it through this market, because there's just a lot of variables.
yeah,
You know, I got so many emails of people asking me, John, how did you get all this traffic? But by the way, also with the loan signs, I put out about 20 of them, all the way from Wochang Mall down almost by the border of Scotch Plains and North Plainfield and Plainfield. I put signs the whole place.
Yeah.
And then I had like about 15 balloons on both days. And so it's like I was throwing in a net and catch, you know, all these fish and bring them out into this one home. And it worked. It worked.
Yeah, it's correct.
Yeah. So that's my story.
that's interesting. So on the other side of that, I had an open house for the very first time. It hit the market, new listing on Thursday, open house on Sunday. And I had two people show up. The other agents, one who lived right beside, was in New Jersey, sent her husband over and said, "Why is the house listed so low?" But
So
I've
low.
got to figure out now, either the price is too high at 649.9, even though the comps definitely support that, or if I just didn't get the word out, and that's why I was asking about the boost. So I got to figure that out. But
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, that
so
helps.
interesting.
Well, to comment on what John's experience, John, how did you arrive to that price? Was that a strategy, or is that just coincidental that you and the seller put it up on 325? You broke up, John. We can't hear you. Say it again.
It was a gamble.
Oh, you're completely gone, man.
I knew that.
John, we're sorry, man. You're completely digitalized. I can't hear you.
Are you there?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
You can hear me now?
Yes, John, go. Yeah, how did you come up with this price?
Yes, Louis, I took a gamble. To me, I knew that the inventory is extremely low and had driven around to see what's going on with other open houses.
Yeah.
And I knew that if I place this price just right, I was going to have people roll into this house. And that's what I did.
Good job.
You know, I wanted to get as many offers as I could, and that's what happened.
Yeah, good
Can
job
I
on
ask a
that.
question?
Go for it.
Equity.
Yeah, sure.
How much, I mean, do these people, the sellers, do they own it free and clear, or are they just about finished paying it off? Because equity does play a big part in the gamble that you take, right?
Yes, but also the demand that's there right now is at play. By the way, even in the midst of all that, I was representing two people in my own listing. So these people came from the street, from nowhere. One was from New York, and they're like, John, can you represent us? We don't have an agent. So I was representing the buyer, and I had two sellers that had also, submitted their offer. So I had to do an offer for them. And one had waived everything, basically everything, waived appraisal and waived inspection. And they were ready to buy the house at 360. So
Right,
that got to tell you the demand right now.
okay.
I think it's the amazing photos you took, John. I think that's what got this house 80 showings at the open house. Did you take that with Nokia flip phone?
No, the pictures I had a professional photographer come out. The only thing we didn't do is drone because, again, of the neighborhood. And where the place is located, it's closer to Plainfield, which has a bad, a bad name. Yeah, but and so if you can, break through in a place like that and get all these people coming out, I think there is good possibility that, as long as the demand continues to be high, you can make a killing in this business. It's if you get listing like that and get a couple more, man, I can do very well, but they're so hard to come by at this point.
So what you're saying is listings are the name of the game?
I think that's the best way to be able to build your clientele at this point. It's getting a listing and then maximizing, that listing to start building your business. It's a no-brainer. I mean, there was tons and tons of people coming from New York, coming from Jersey City. It looks like they're leaving the city. They want to come in a place that has a piece of land where they can raise their families and their kids. But there's nothing. There's nothing out there right now.
So it's still very low inventory. So anything you can get your hands on that slightly has any room for either to make a buck if you're an investor or something that's priced right, it's going fast.
It's going fast, man. It's really going fast. Yes. In fact, I was like, let's say I had disposable income and I put down and I paid the $325 for this one house. And then I just turned around and listed it for $350 or $360.
You probably wouldn't have gotten as many. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But that's where we are in the market.
I get it. Well, good job, John. Keep up the good work,
Thank you.
brother. Hopefully that serves as enough and motivation for you to make those calls or meet more people to get more listings. At least one listing a month is a game changer.
It is for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because the more signs you put out, the more flyers you send out, the more business you get anyway. So good for you, brother.
Thank you.
All right. Then the next one is the one that Brent said. So Brent had an open house over the weekend, and this is his house. Very nice home that he put on the market. But right off the back, what I'm noticing is that the RVM, which is basically kind of like what your Zillow tells you the house is worth, is less than what it's listed for. So with John's property, it was the opposite. The RVM was higher than what it was listed for. So John's strategy was listed cheap. And get a lot of people in the door. With this listing, the owner, I don't think, was as comfortable to take that risk of listing it cheap, like listing at a 575, would have probably blown the doors off the house and people would have been there like down the street. Brent took the approach of pricing it slightly higher than the last comp that sold because of its location, having a better lot. So, so tell us, Brent, so far, you said you only had 2 showings at your last open house. One agent thought you underlisted it. And,
Yes.
And the other agent said what? Any comment from the other agent?
The other agent, they're probably going to make an offer today.
Oh, okay, good. So you listed it right.
They came back a second time.
Nice.
And, so if you filter through, it's really the lot. And if you can either play the 2-minute, okay, that's the back. But I'll just talk while you filter through
Go for
it. But yeah, the lot is exceptional. So it borders onto a 16-acre green 2-pond view with a live oak shaded orchard. It's got across that lawn a community pavilion that's free access to the people in the HOA. It's a gated community. It's on the Manatee River. So to the right person, that view is literally $1 million view. So I explained to the seller the 2 philosophies. We can either put it on the high side of the CMA, or we can put it on the low side and let the market correct it both ways.
Yeah.
They chose to go with the higher one. And now we'll see if, so that's the Manatee River. At the end of that white road, you can see the Manatee River, which there's a farm. I mean, it's just an unusual lot. So I think the person is coming back. It's because of the river. It's in an AE, but the home lot was elevated by the builder to the point where the owners do not pay flood insurance. I verified it with 2 insurance company separate agents. They said, no, yes, it is in an AE zone, but the elevation has been raised by the builder. So it's actually listed correctly as a zone X in the flood, which down here is a big deal because flood insurance can be more than your homeowner's insurance. So most
Mhm.
people don't want to pay that. But
Very true.
yeah, that's
Okay. Well, that's great news. It's great news. It's a little nerve-wracking when the owners want to take that approach because that approach is pretty risky. I mean, both have a risk. So let's look at the risk that John would have had. What if there weren't that many people interested in John's house and the sellers left money on the table? Okay, that's a risk, right? Does that happen usually, guys, when you underprice something and you market it right? Has anyone here on the call ever had an experience where the seller got a bad deal because they underpriced it? Has it ever just like sold for less money than it should have? You know, maybe the agent at one point, maybe you saw it happen, but maybe the agent had their own offer and kind of finagled the seller to take a lower offer so they can get both sides of the deal. I can see that maybe happening. I could see maybe like the agent not negotiating correctly and just saying, "Oh yeah, take the first offer that comes in," and the first offer is maybe not the best one because John could have taken that 350 offer for his client and to cancel the second open house or convince the seller to take it, and he couldn't have, he would have left some money on the table at that point too. But if your negotiating skills are good and there's no shadiness going on, do you guys think that the approach of underpricing a home is a risky one? I want to hear what you guys have to say about that.
No, because you don't have to accept it. That's what I thought. There's under price to get a lot of attention. If you don't like the offer that you don't have to accept it.
Yeah, you don't have to accept it, correct?
I took a look at, of course, my favorite remind, because my question to John was how much equity did the sellers have in the property because he priced it low. And as far as leaving money on the table, well, the sellers already had over $200,000 equity.
Mm.
They owned it for 19 years. So I believe that his sellers really would have been happy with anything above 300.
I see that. Good.
And as for Brent, your sellers, well, they got about more than $300,000 equity on the table.
Whew, yeah,
So
appreciation in Florida.
they can come down. You know, if that offer didn't go through, you wouldn't have a problem coming down on the price. They will still have a good net.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what I told them. We won't let this DOM go up. We're up. We'll see what happens at the next weekend. So we'll give it 8 days. And by the second weekend of open house, if we don't have a good solid offer, we're going to drop the price and go closer to the first scenario that I encourage them to consider. But
because they only been in that house for 3 years,
Yeah,
and they got that kind of equity on it.
Yeah, that's the typical COVID Florida scenario right now. Yeah. Yeah, so they got a lot of money. They know that, and I really fully expect that if that couple that came back the second time gets the insurance clearance that 2 agents gave me, they'll probably make an asking price offer or better today.
That's great.
We'll
So
see.
let me show you guys how that could backfire on you. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys an example of my own property and disregard this foreclosure notice. I bought it as a foreclosure, and for some reason the county still has it down as foreclosure property. Got a lot of calls from investors thinking it's foreclosed, which is interesting because I like to hear people's approaches, and I've learned a few things. But this property, when I initially purchased it, you can list anything and have it sold in Florida in 24 hours, anything. So I bought this property as a sheriff's sale, and I paid $280 for it. Put about like $50K into it, more or less, like 50, something like that into it, and renovations, new roof, made it look really nice. Made the mistake initially of listing it over 400, which was a stretch. I knew it was going to be a stretch to list it over 400. So I didn't get any bites the first week and a half. So immediately I lowered it to 399, got it under contract at 389. Blue skies. I thought everything was great. The last day before their commitment was due, they back out of the deal with nothing, nothing to they got released from the deposit and everything. So I had nothing to sink my teeth into, which was a tragic tale. But in the meantime, while these people were playing games with me, the market started to change. And I know this because I see it, and I know it because I've also been asking a very productive, high production team leader in the area what he thought about the market recently. And his own words were that when I bought this property, homes were selling in 24 hours. Now it's more like 30 to 60 days is the norm. So with that being said, with homes sitting on the market longer, I had to then drop my price from $399. I've been dropping it $5K almost every week or every week and a half, 2 weeks to find that equilibrium. So maybe the approach I should have taken early on, because I didn't have a lot of traffic through my house, but everyone who did come through the house would either have interest or would make an offer. So I had the right people seeing the house, but I didn't have enough people seeing the house. So looking at the market that we're entering into now in Florida, at least, maybe not Jersey, but Florida for sure, it is getting a lot softer. So therefore, my approach might be in the future, listing it under what the last home sold for in the area and hope that we drive offers up to where we would like to be. So I'm learning a lesson right now as things go, that the market is changing right before my eyes in this area, at least in Florida, at least. I'm not sure about Jersey's that way, but John's approach worked phenomenally. So I would say, like, if you talk to a seller and you tell a seller, listen, from experience, I know that listing a home under market value works better. You're not just saying that because you want them to make your life easier. You're saying it because it's literally the truth, So if you have to say that to a homeowner, don't ever have second guesses about it or second doubts or think that it's not an approach you would even take yourself. But the market that we're exiting from may have conditioned us to listen to a seller and put anything on paper. That may not last that much longer, especially not in some areas that are starting to see the kind of like Zoomer, like that Zoomer kind of boost that we got from everyone working from home. That's kind of like drying up. So, maybe some areas that got a big boost from that are not seeing the same type of increases like we used to, or demand that we used to see. It's more stabilized now. What are you seeing, guys? You guys want to comment on any of that?
Yeah, Luis, I was just going to say that for sure, I did not expect that many people to come out.
Yeah.
And that's an indication that the housing market is shifting. And, the demand is there.
Yeah.
And if you know that the demand is there, then you want to advertise as much. I don't know how many lots you put with balloons. My wife went and bought balloons at the dollar store.
Yeah.
Bought the helium and we were ready to go. So, and put all these balloons everywhere. And I think that's the best way to do it. You get as many people as you can to come. It's one thing to look at a property online, look at the pictures. It's a totally different story when you get that person inside that house and talk to them about the backyard, about, walk them through. Some of these people came back with their families. Others came back with contractors, just for the second opinion. And yeah, but you have to get people to come out somehow. Do everything you can to get people to come out and see the property. Yeah, and then I don't know with the signs. I don't see any other agents putting out those lawn signs as many as they did. I mean, the most people do is like 5 or 6 or in major intersections, but put them everywhere and make sure those signs have your phone number on them.
Correct. And that's not cheap. John made an investment in himself because a good lawn sign is anywhere between $50, $100. So John made a nice investment into himself, and he's got to pick them up. He's got to set them up. He's got to store them, clean them. It's a job, guys. No one ever said that real estate was going to be easy, but it does get easier as you learn and as you progress and get better at these things. But initially, you got to put in that sweat. You really got to do whatever, and what no one else is doing, that's what you have to do. The difficult stuff. Right, John?
Camera's
Louis?
going.
Go ahead, Belinda.
Yeah, I got you guys. I'm gonna swap out cameras.
I also think the price has a lot to do with the traffic. There's a lot of more people looking between that medium range, you know, like between 350 and 450 against anything else on top of that. I mean, that's in the New Jersey market.
Yeah, of course.
Same here. That's where it seems to be the sweet spot where people are actually even getting approved, because at between 300 and 350, that's meeting rental rates. Because that means that the person's mortgage will be between 2,200 and 2,700 a month,
Mhm.
which if they're figuring, well, if I already paid that in rent, I might as well get ready to buy. So that's really is the sweet spot.
It
Yeah, makes
is,
a lot of
and
sense.
around here, because I've seen a lot of people posting and stuff, and sometimes even properties with not even a sign have like lines outside of the house.
So you're saying that
So
you're seeing,
this
go ahead, guys.
hey everyone, this is Jose.
Hey, Jose.
Going back to your question about marketing properties too low. I think if, and it's a big if, right? If you market the property correctly, like John, he uses his tactic of lawn signs and balloons. But if you market the property correctly, then I don't think that the property will sell, leaving any kind of equity in the table. And being that there's still a lot of buyers out there, right? Supply and demand, still a lot of buyers. So if you market the property correctly, I believe wholeheartedly that the property will sell for as max as it could sell.
Mm-hmm.
If it's properly marketed. So it doesn't matter the price. We put 2 houses in the market just recently. We did an open house last weekend for one. We put it in the market for $435. It was a townhouse in Saraville. And we got 3 offers. The highest was $465. It was a good offer, so we took it. But it was a townhouse, so I don't know. Then this weekend we just put a 4-family in the market. We did an open house, and we only got 1 offer. And I thought I underpriced it. We priced it at $575 in Newark, 4-family driveway. It's a good deal, I believe. By the way, taxes on that property in Newark, 4-family, went from $6,000. I'll share it with you guys. It's unbelievable. From $6,000 to $13,900, 141% increase in
Nice.
taxes
Look at that.
in that property. So, and this is in Newark.
Mm-hmm.
And we got an offer. We got 1 offer this weekend for $630, an
Unbelievable.
FHA offer for $630. So
Unbelievable.
yeah, the market is changing. I don't know what's going on. It's definitely a different market out there. But just wanted to put that out there, share with you guys, what we just did and what we experienced.
That is crazy. I can't
Can we
believe those
define
types of numbers.
something? Can we
Go ahead.
define something while
Yeah, go
we're on
ahead,
the
Belinda.
call?
Go ahead.
What is a properly marketed house? Because I think that will determine one's perception in one's area. So what would we qualify as a properly marketed home?
Yeah. So let's
In
stick to
our
the
area,
address.
Belinda, in our area, Belinda, I would go Zillow is number 1. Everybody's using Zillow, not only realtors, but buyers. Everyone has Zillow. So Zillow is key. But yeah, like you said, it depends on the area. It depends on the market, right?
Yeah. Zillow is obviously key everywhere. I think that's the number 1 thing that shows up even when you type in an address, aside from maybe Google Maps. But being that Zillow is automatically fed through the MLS, is there anything you do with Zillow to beef it up or make it better, Jose?
No, not at all. Not at all. Just make sure that everything is out there. All the information that you want to put out in the pictures, everything matches up. Because Zillow, sometimes they feed off different MLSs and they have just to look slightly different information. So my approach usually is the MLS, of course, but Zillow, because I know that buyers look at Zillow is the key. My first thing, I want to make sure that the Zillow presentation or the marketing of Zillow is 100% perfect.
So better pictures, because that's very visual.
Oh, definitely. And the open house, you know, if you're under marketing a property, like I did that 4-family, I thought I did 4-family in
Mhm.
Newark. If we're under marketing it, what you want to make sure is you want to have everything on on the thing, and you want to on the Zillow, all the information correctly, and you want to make sure that you have some kind of delay is showing delay in open house. So you put in the market coming soon 3 days before, or open or first showing after open houses, listing it on Wednesdays, doing an open house on the weekend. That usually works for me. Even in the old markets, that always kind of worked for me. Just putting it out there and just creating some kind of an urgency for people to come see this house, and they will come out
Yeah.
on the first day of showing, which is the open house, and hopefully, and it's worked for me in the past, like to the T. They'll come in with offers ready.
Have you ever been able to, I know Zillow, they have this thing where it shows you your home has gotten more views than any other one in the area. I don't know if you've ever gotten a notice about that. Like your home is getting more views or getting more attraction than other homes. Has anyone seen that? What their listings?
Yes, I did, Louis. I went back on Zillow. If you go back and look, it's right there. You can't miss it.
Mm-hmm.
On the right side of your screen when you open the property. Yeah, you see it right there. And I think was 1,600. I'm not near a computer right now. I'm in a work site. But
Yeah.
But if you see there.
Yeah.
On the
What
right,
John's
yeah,
referring
right.
to is the views that you get over here, right here.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've gotten I've been on Zillow for 107 days and I got 444 views. He's talking about 1,600 views in what, like 6 days, 5 days, probably.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. You
Is
can
that
go
what
to
you're
my
saying?
property and see what.
Hold on, I'll look up your property right now.
Yeah, and see. Yeah, it's over 1,500 views within a very short period of time.
Yeah. You have gotten 1,700 views in 9 days. So that's massive, guys. That's insane, right? So when you get something like this, then you know that this home is gonna definitely get action. Like that's just insane. It's like anomaly. But what I'm going to show you guys real quick is something you could do on your MLS, where the MLS shows you if you're priced right or not. It gives you the ability to be able to negotiate with the seller to bring the price down if it's overpriced. Let me just show you really quick what that looks like. Okay, so there's like 10 steps to log into the MLS. It's ridiculous. Okay, so all you have to do, I know a lot of people have Matrix, some people have the other MLSs, but they all have the same thing, which is basically this. When you go down to your listings, you have this thing called a hit counter. Click on the hit counter, and then you'll see, you see right here to the right where your listing is, you'll see, if you click on it, it says client views, and you can click on that, and then it shows you how many views your property is getting and when it's gotten the most views. Okay, you can do lifetime or you can do the past 3 months. And you can see that, whenever you've gotten spikes before and where you currently are right now. Usually weekends get spikes. So, keep that in mind as well. But if we go for the past 4 weeks, you can see that there's been a time when we got a spike and then right now it's kind of like dying off again. So if that's the case, you can use this kind of data to show your clients like, hey, maybe the price is still a little high and we need to bring it down some, in order to get the right buyer in the door. Even with me, like I don't claim to know everything everywhere, and especially being in a new area, I call other people, I call other agents, and I ask them, hey, what are you seeing? What would you do in my case? This is the property. I know you flip a lot of properties. What would you do? And I get advice from people because the market is one thing I will tell you that the market is always guaranteed to do, and that's change. And if you're not seeing it because you've got either some kind of bias, whether that's recency bias or you've got a bias because it's your property or it's a property of someone that you're really trying to help out and you've got that bias, sometimes you need an unbiased opinion from someone else. Like, hey, what do you think about this? So sometimes I get calls from Brent, hey, what do you think about this price? And I give him my unbiased opinion because I don't care if the seller doesn't like it because I'm not going to be in front of the seller, right? But I'm telling him what I think. So if you ever come across this issue, you may want to just talk to somebody who doesn't have any skin in the game to see what they would tell you, right? What do you guys think? Thoughts on that?
I want to add something to what
Go for
Jose was saying. Silo does take 24 hours to upload the information. So if you do an open house on the weekend, what he was saying, listing it before the weekend, it's crucial, because if you go and list the property on Friday and you're having an open house on Saturday, you're not gonna get as much traffic.
True.
Because the Silo takes 24 hours. I do have a question though. How come the taxes on that property in Newark went from 6,000 to 13,000? Was it renovated or just because of the market?
Ivana, there was really no renovations in this house whatsoever. The guy bought it 3 years ago, and I actually sold it to him 3 years ago. And the property, for some reason, it was low. It was on the low end. I know of a few other 4 families in the area that the taxes were about 50% higher, 9,000, 9,500. This one was 6,000 all along. Maybe it slipped through the cracks and Newark decided to come up, but it's ridiculous. If anybody wants to look at it, it's 480 Fabian Place in Newark. It's a
Oh my
4 family. It's ridiculous. It's like 141% increase. It's so ridiculous.
Does that happen a
No,
lot?
but I don't know, Ivani. The answer to that, I wouldn't know. If anyone knows, I would love to know, but I don't know why that happens.
Let's look that up real quick. But I can give you my thoughts on that. It may be off the mark, but is it 480, 482?
It's both 480-482.
Okay. Fabyan?
Correct.
Yeah, it came up before. 480 Fabian. I'm going to show everybody. Okay, here it is.
I know one of my friends, she added an extra room to her house and then the taxes doubled. But
Yeah.
she added.
Louis Lava has started screen sharing.
That was weird. Okay. Go for that, Ivani.
No, I don't know why my Zoom keeps talking. Every time you share something, it says, Lou is this, Lou is that. I don't know how to take it off. It just keeps talking to me. That's why you heard it. But no, I was saying that my friend, she added an extra room in her house and without consulting with the town. So her taxes went from 8,000 to 16,000. But she added footage. This house, Jose is saying, is not even renovated. So why would that go up so much?
Well, first things first, I definitely think that the owner, if you care to share that with them, Jose, they should definitely go for a tax appeal. I think they'd be more than in their right to do so. The other thing is that, I mean, I haven't been in Newark and Jersey as much as you guys, obviously, but from everything I'm hearing, Newark is becoming one of the hottest places to migrate to from out of New York, and people are moving into Newark. The government there knows that, so they know there's no lack of demand, and they also know, and if you guys have also noticed, the government there has also been putting forward a lot of social programs, and maybe Nicole knows more about it because I know she does a lot of work in the area, but it's gotten to the point now that somehow or one way or another, those things have to get funded, whether that's streets, being cleaned up and fixed up, or more available money for Section 8, or whoever knows what the case may be. But schools being built, someone has to pay for it, and them knowing that this boom may not last forever, they're trying to capitalize on it, in my opinion, as much as possible while they can. Thoughts? Anyone have any input on that?
I actually do. Everything you're saying is right. And I just wanted to give some input on that tax increase to 13. Almost every multi that I've dealt with in Newark, that has happened. I don't know what's been happening with tax appeals, but based off of everyone kind of keeping the taxes the way it was, it tells me that people are taking the screw and like keeping the high increase. There's one in particular that I dealt with that went from 7 to 12 or 13, and it was a 3 unit. It wasn't a 4. And the explanation she was given was the new taxes are correlating to like the new value, and they didn't like care what the neighbor's taxes were. They're like, this is your assessment. This is an individual thing. And when they sell, they're going to be reassessed as well. and the same thing is essentially going to happen
That's-
to them.
That's very true. I forgot that taxes are based off your assessment, and the home prices have doubled in the last, well, since COVID. So
Exactly.
yeah, your taxes are going to double too. So they're
The
well
only
within the
problem is
right
it's
to do that.
overnight. It's like
Crazy.
overnight. Like one
Yeah.
day it's 6, 7, the next day it's 13. It's
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
well, John Smith, who lives on, Fabian Place, didn't get a doubling in income. In the same time, he didn't double the rent on his tenants. Crazy. Yeah, this is
But you're going through an appeal, you still have to be paying the taxes.
wait for
correct?
the next wave of foreclosures due to obscenely high taxes.
yes, Ivania, you pay taxes. You have to pay the high taxes first, and then the following year you appeal what you paid already.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
Yeah, and I think that, Louis, as we talk about taxes, you can imagine people who are shopping for, a home right now. Like I had a couple, that they're expecting their first baby in September, so they want to be, right now they are renting a 1-bedroom apartment, and they were so spread. I mean, kept saying, "John, please fight for us." Every single day I got a text. They wrote a letter to the seller. And so when we look at the taxes, going up for these people, can you imagine they are buying, first, the interest rate is so high. Second, they're buying the house above asking price. And now the taxes. You can imagine how, how difficult and the decisions that these people have to make.
Yeah.
To be able to acquire these properties at this, that's why I'm saying this market is really, it's a crazy market.
It is. That's crazy. It's unbelievable where things are going. But I don't know. The only thing I can tell you right now is that the laws of gravity apply to real estate as well. And what goes up sooner or later, it has to find its way down. How far down, no one knows, but things can't go straight up forever. So we'll see what happens. It's all in God's hands. All right. Anyone else want to say anything before we go?
Yeah, my high school fights always happened on Fabian Place. That's where you go to fight.
I'm telling you, man, some of those street names I recall from, investing there and helping people those areas are rough. I can't believe people are selling real estate for those prices. I mean, I guess things must have gotten cleaned up a lot, but it's rough.
No, it actually didn't get cleaned up. It's still a hot mess, and prices have just skyrocketed.
I guess it's less of a hot mess than it is in New York. Maybe it's like the suburbs compared to New York. I think that's what you got to look at, right? Your comparison. Who knows? All
I
right.
don't know. The only thing we knew is guard your grill, knuckle up if you go down that street.
Yeah. Not fun trying to collect rent in some of those places. You never know who's gonna open the door. All right, cool. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being on the call today. I did want to give you guys a message today, so I'm going to share that real quick in a really brief way before we go. But you guys had a lot of great insight today, a lot of people being vocal today, which I appreciate. I just want to share a quick story about human potential, and that's what we opened up the call with today with Jordan Peterson, who gave a quick synopsis on that. But human potential, your potential, for a lot of us is largely, including myself, untapped, right? And there's a lot of reasons why. But a quick story, and then I'll give you guys maybe a couple of actionable items that we can take in order to maybe tap into some of that this week. Not next year, but right now. Real quick, yesterday I'm organizing a tool shed that I bought recently because I got way too many tools. I'm like a kid with tools, right? So I'm putting away all these tools, and one of my saws is broken. I bought it from a Facebook Marketplace, and the handle was broken, but I got it for like next to nothing. So I'm like, I just order another handle and fix it. So as I'm putting away the saw, I'm like, oh, this is that saw I got to fix. So I took the part that I ordered from Amazon, and I started taking the saw apart and noticed there was a lot of intricate wiring in there and circuitry and all this stuff. And I'm like, that's kind of more than I bargained for, but I took a picture of it. And then, so I knew how the wiring went. And then I put it aside, took the saw apart. Turns out that the handle I bought didn't really fit well. It was made for that saw, but it was made for that saw, maybe a more updated version of it. So it fit like 80% of the way. So I kind of like fixed it, cut some pieces out, and made it fit and made it work, and put all the circuitry back and put all the wiring back. Meanwhile, my dad's helping me with all of this, right? And he's completely blown away the fact that I just took apart this saw, put it back together, and now we have like a brand new saw for like $50. It's probably cost like $500, right? So he's blown away. He told my mom, like, I think our son's gifted, right? And I'm thinking to myself, like, that was no sweat. That's like light work. But what I want to talk to you guys about is the fact that human potential is really general, or it's kind of like what you think human potential is for you may seem like a lot, for someone else may not seem like anything. So for my dad, he would never have been able to do that, right? So for him, I blew him away. For me, it seemed like it was nothing. But what I want to share with you is the fact that I look at someone like Elon Musk who's building rockets, and I'm like, holy smokes, how the hell did this guy do that? So what I'm saying is that you should always try to level up. And if you don't know how to do something, or if you want to learn how to do that next thing that is going to help your business, then get around someone who's already doing that. Because if I did that enough times with my dad, it wouldn't seem like out of this world anymore, and it would seem more commonplace. And before you know it, my dad would be putting together saws. Okay. Not that that's his life goal or mine to teach him, but it just is what it is. So one thing that I want to tell you guys before we go is the first thing we do that we're all guilty of is we negotiate, right? Who here thinks they're a good negotiator, right? Well, we all have to be good at some point, right? We're parents, we're salespeople, we have to negotiate, right? We're in marriages or relationships. Negotiating is part of our life. But the problem is that a lot of people negotiate with themselves, and they negotiate in the wrong direction. We don't negotiate up, we negotiate down, hitting the alarm, or having that fast food instead of eating healthy at home, or knowing that you have these goals that you want to achieve, and you don't do them because you told yourself that not right now, you're too busy, you're this, you're that. So you're always negotiating with yourself in that inner voice. So one thing I'm going to tell you guys and leave you with is that today, I want you guys to stop negotiating with yourself in the wrong direction. Negotiate upwards always. Try not to go sideways. Try to always go up, never down. Negotiate up. And whatever it is that you have on your chopping block that you want to accomplish, whether that is physical or in business, it's really just a dream unless you have a date, correct? You guys have heard that before? If you have if you have a goal without a date, it's just a dream. It's not reality. It's not a goal. Okay. So whatever your goal is, have a date. So anyone want to share one? Anyone? Any brave souls want to share a goal with a date?
I was actually going through something like that recently. I keep saying I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna do this, and then it's like, oh, next week I make it through like Wednesday, and then I quit, and I'm like, I started sitting with myself and asking hard questions. I have realized that for me to sit down in silence, it's very hard. I get very on my phone, or very distracted. As something that I have noticed that is happening a lot too. But at some point it was like, oh, you have done all of this, because my kids are getting older. I have teenagers now. Nobody wants me around. Nobody needs me. Everybody, mom's not cool anymore. So I have had a lot of time for myself, and I'm like, I was forced to do all these things for them, but now that I have to do it for myself, what's stopping me?
Yeah.
And I found out that when we say we're gonna do things, it's like more of like, why am I disrespecting myself by doing things that I said I wasn't gonna do? It has been kicking me in my butt a lot, because I said, oh, I'm gonna this day I'm gonna take off and I'm not gonna work, and then if I disrespect myself, it always goes wrong. So because I'm disrespecting myself, and I said I was gonna do something that I didn't do, and it just keeps happening. So today I'm dressed, hair's done, makeup's done, workout's done, because I'm tired of disrespecting myself. Because why can I? And lately I keep meeting people, and then I go all my way out for them, but why can't I do it for me, right? And I think it's a little bit more of like loving ourselves a little bit more, and actually going back and being like, wow, I did that, and I did that, and I did that for that person, and I did that, and now I'm here. So just going back into those things and saying, if I could do it with somebody, for somebody else, I could do it for myself, but it's very hard to
What do you want your outcome to be from all of these changes that you want to apply?
What happened?
What do you want your outcome to be? What is the goal behind taking care of yourself better and being more willing to do things for yourself that you would do for others, but never yourself. What is your goal or outcome from doing these things?
Mental peace at night.
Mental peace. That's
So
great.
I could have, because I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done this. And then things start accumulating, right? So
Mhm.
that at the end of the night, I'm like, oh, I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Now my workout is like 5 days before. Now my body hurts and I didn't sleep, or I stayed out too late when I said I didn't stay out too late. So mental exhaustion leading to physical exhaustion. I think my body is catching up with my brain.
Gotcha. Yeah, sometimes to be to get there, we have to be very robotic and very how I say, like, oriented in like the same routine, to the point where people think we're just weird, right? We just think we're not like normal like everyone else. That means going to bed at 9. That means eating healthy when everyone else is eating garbage. You don't eat the garbage, you eat something different. And there's always a reason for you to eat the garbage, right? And you didn't make the calls. Why? Because your phone rang, because your emails are blown up, because you had a showing, because you had an inspection. So there's always a reason for you not to make the business happen for you. But one goal that I think Ivania is trying to reach out of like doing all these things is probably something, in my opinion, that's both personal, and it's probably also going to reflect into her business life, which probably means like getting her own house, right? Maybe is that one of the goals that you want out of this, is getting your own house?
Yeah, because I have to sell this place and I'm still in negotiation. And now I'm like, what am I going to do? Single family, no family. Do we stay in town? Do we not stay in town? And it's like all these distractions that keep coming, and I just keep putting it on the back burner.
Correct. So if you had to tell me a guess how much time you have before you have to do that, what would that be? 3 months, 6 months?
6 months.
6 months. Okay. So now you know it's 6 months. And we know how the human mind works, where when we know we have a deadline, we tend to start taking it more seriously towards the end of that deadline. Can we make pretend that you have 3 months left?
Yeah.
So cutting your goal in half is a very powerful thing for your mind, and then believing your deadline is due in 3 months will actually help you big time. If you really want to take it to that next level, most people say that I have practiced this method. You take your goal, you cut it in half, and then you cut it in half again. So Ivania, if you had to move out in a month and a half, and you convince yourself of that, do you think that your daily activities between now and a month from now would change, rather than if you knew you had 6 months, right?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Exactly. So that's a little hack for you guys. I'm going to practice that as well. I picked that one up this morning. I'm going to take my goals and cut them in half, and then in half again, and then see where that gets you. Because last time I checked, whenever I forgot that I had something due, or something was coming up and it was due tomorrow, I made it a priority. Like that day, it got done. So try that, guys. All right. I think we have a good one for today. Thank you, everyone, for being on the call. Oh, take the picture. Go for it.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Cheese. Wait, Sarah, are you ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Cheese.
Awesome.
You got. Hold on. I'll take another one.
Jose was upside down.
Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Cheese. Thank you so much,
Thank
guys.
you. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. If I wouldn't mind, John, you were very helpful today, brother. Would you mind taking us out in a prayer? Since you've been blessed so much this weekend, I think you share some of that blessing with us. Are you able to? I think John might be away. All right, no worries, guys. I'll take us out. Dear Lord, Father, we thank you for the opportunity to be together this week, Father. We thank you so much for the blessings that our group has experienced over the last few weeks. And
Daniel Craig has left the meeting.
And we thank you, Father, for everything that we are constantly learning, all the mistakes that we've made. And we thank you for even the trouble in our life that shapes us and molds us and makes us better. Father, we ask you to forgive us for all the things that we've done that do not serve us and do not serve your kingdom. And we ask you to please make us better versions of ourselves every single day, Father, so we could be a blessing to those around us and those who need us the most, Father. We ask you to bring us back, Father, next week in good health and good spirits. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Take care. Amen.
Get Zoom updated.